Hi everybody, today we're not in the wormery, at least not yet. Right now we're still at my planning spreadsheet. And yes, believe it or not, I have a planning spreadsheet, tracking spreadsheet for my vermicompost. And if you've been following along, you might recognize some of the patterns here. But just to summarize, the point in time where we're at right now is here, and I've already started jotting down the plan for today, which is to harvest the last of what I've considered up until now as my green generation here, most of which has been done already, harvested at day 75, harvested at day 100, and then this last one, after having been moved a couple times from bin to bin and after being set up for a horizontal migration 48 days ago, and I've already been partially depopulated. I've already moved what I consider to be about half of the worm population into a new bin over here. So the completion of closing down this last green bin is to finally harvest the last of the castings and to move the remainder of the worms, and those worms will be used to populate this bin down here that's been sitting for 80 days since all the contents were assembled together, actually in different containers than the ones we're using now. But then I'll turn these into bowls to show that they're active now. Got some weird formatting kind of stuff going on here to depict different things. And 155 days after the bin was started, so that's the longest I've personally gone so far, although it's probably still earlier than necessary. But I'm just thinking I'd like to sort of come to an end with this green population, or this green generation, and sort of dive full blast into this orange generation, which has really been going for about 3 months now. Yep, we're gonna go down into the wormery now, and we're gonna start work on bringing closure to this here. And it's gonna consist of populating a new bin and harvesting the castings. Alright, so let's head on down and get to work. Okay, in front of us we have the 155-day-old bin. It was set up for horizontal migration. The contents were shifted over with a new layer of bedding and food that was laid in on this side, on the left side, in the hopes of bringing the worms together so they could be rounded up easily. One round of worms has been removed from here to populate the bin over there on the shelf, on the bottom shelf. And this bin here is going to be the one that's going to take the last amount of worms that remain in here as we gather them as part of the harvesting process. So step one is going to be to just move these guys. Step two is going to be to do the screening and harvesting. All right, here we go. All right, so I guess on this side we'll create a little landing zone for them and put some material to the side so I can cover them up after they've been placed in. Give it a little additional moisture. Alright, so at the same time I'm going to be grabbing some of the material off the top of the fed zone. Dropping that in here with some more water and moisture. Okay. Looks pretty good. Let's start bringing these little guys over. Alright. I am going to use this, but more just to stabilize things with, not to hurt anyone. Okay. Got some coming over now. I'm going to bring over all the food that is in there already. Although it's been about, I think, over a week since I last fed. So anything that was in here should be pretty well processed by now. Well, I think the most of them have now buried themselves and scooted away. It's just these little millipedes and other little life forms cruising around here. Alright, if we get any more worms, we'll place them there and then we'll cover this thing up. So the next matter at hand is going to be the sifting through this tray. Yeah, basically the let's see, I guess the normal process that I use is I scrape the top, collect what I've scraped. Usually the top is assumed to be depopulated by the worms burrowing down, if there are any worms. And then just to be sure, sifting through what's been scraped off the top with my screen ensures that only the finest materials are being collected. Everything else goes into a recycle box of stuff to go back into an active bin, which can also go right into this bin right here. So let's get the sifting equipment ready and get going. Sifter. Anything that doesn't go through the screen will be captured in here. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Dump over. Start again. Okay. Well, let's see how this goes. Yeah, these last few I really did not screen too hard, since I knew there were worms along for the ride in the last couple batches where I just grabbed what remained. So this is going to be full of a bunch of little worms running around. Let's see if we can save some of these guys on the table. Didn't make it through. Guys like this. But the castings look pretty nice. I already did one emptying of the container because it was getting a bit heavy to shake it around. But I have almost as much again, which is, I'm not sure, maybe at least a half of this container came out of that bin. Not bad. Pretty good score. My vermicompost storage bin is now maxed out. I'm gonna have to get another one, but basically that leaves this container probably full of worms. Let's assume it is. So then we'll just have a little session to let the worms in this pile roam free, and then we'll cover them up, and that'll be the end of today's harvest and migration. Let's see how these look. Well, we've got little pockets of worms here and there. Nothing too spectacular. But now this bin has some good weight to it. Maybe I'll just continue giving it a little bit more moisture as long as I'm here with the squirt bottle. Alright, let's get this thing covered up. Okay. All right, well, once again, I wanted to thank you for sticking along with me to watch my harvesting process and my launch of a new worm bin. That'll be it for today. Thanks for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Hopefully you did. And come back again if you like content like this and stuff similar. Have a great day. Take care.